So I did a thing. I quit my job. My last day was April 12th, and it feels amazing. Scary, but amazing. And I wanted to share some of the reasons why and kind of where I'm going from here. So listen in. Welcome to my journey of self discovery, life balance, career success, and business creation. This podcast works to answer the question of how successful professionals like us stop drifting and get focused on keeping our careers and businesses growing rapidly while having a full, balanced, and vibrant life that we absolutely love. What we call the Third Power Life. And this is the Third Power Life Podcast. If you have not been aware of it, there is a study that was Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. She was, I believe, an Australian nurse that over her period of time as like a hospice nurse, essentially kind of did kind of a survey of people who were dying and what were their biggest regrets and what were the things that they wish if they could change, they would have. And I'm not going to go through all five here, just in the time we have. But the number one item was I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Huge. Huge. It's like I feel that, right? Number two is I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And she said that often came more from the men than the women. This came from every male patient I nursed, right? So those were really the two things that led me to where I am. The other three, just I don't want to leave you hanging. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends, and I wish that I had let myself be happier. Now we're here to talk about one and two. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. And in my life, I have done that so often, trying to be who I think other people want me to be, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it. And when it comes to work, that's the same kind of thing that happens where you're here and you have your work facade, you put your work hat on, right? And here's who I think that people need me to be in this role. To be the director of a Fortune 500 company, I need to be this, right? And the reality of it is that you need to be yourself. And this is one of the things that I pushed hard. If you've listened to my podcast about the rules of the team, the things that I talk to my teams about, and it's be you. Have creativity. Bring yourself to work, right? But where I had kind of gotten to the point where I'd been doing the same thing for so long that I wasn't really being true to myself anymore. I was doing what I needed to do to get the paycheck, right? Which is kind of sad. What do they call it? The golden handcuffs, right? And don't get me wrong. I liked my job. I love the company. It was time for me to make a change and to do something that was truer to myself. And the other one that kind of goes hand in hand with that was number two, that I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And there is, in our world today, especially in the corporate world, there is, basically they will work, you can work as much as you are capable of working. And it will, you can easily make it so that you work yourself 100 hours a week, right? I remember when I was first starting in the corporate world and trying to launch my career, and I launched the intranet, and I worked 140-hour work week once. It's 20 hours a day for 7 days. It's 4 hours, 4 hours for non-working, sleep, eating, etc. I actually had a sleeping bag that I kept under my desk. So I was coding until I just couldn't see anymore. Roll out the sleeping bag, lay down, sleep for 2 hours, then wake up and keep going, right? By the end of it, I wasn't super productive, but we have the illusion that, if I just need to keep going. I just need to keep going. We work too hard. And so that's part of the change that I've made, is to have some limits on how hard I work. Yeah, I'm still working. I'm still doing stuff for myself and all of that. But it's really about being true to myself, right? Having the courage to express my feelings, right? And I wish I'd let myself be happier. There were times where the stress of work, it was getting to me, and I wasn't being happy, and I'm aware of myself enough to see those signs and know that it wasn't okay. And so it was time for me to make a change, and I did. So I have, and that's why I want, I'm not telling you to go out and quit your job, right? But I am telling you to take the time to really look at, are you living a life true to yourself? Or are you living the life that others expect of you? Are you working too hard? Do you have the courage to express your feelings? Are you staying in touch with your friends? And are you letting yourself be happy? Because we don't want those regrets. We really don't. I know I don't. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm excited about my future. I'm doing my new Quest course. Actually, you should sign up for it. The link will be in the description. thirdpowerperformance.com, the Quest course. But find your purpose, and that's what I think. I get to work on my purpose now. I get to do things that I'm passionate about. Where, I'm not working hard. I'm playing. Right? It's not work, it's play, because I'm focused and truly putting effort into my passion, into the desire of where I want to go, right? It makes, I can't tell you the difference. I was up until I think like 12:30 the other night, and I got into a groove, and I was doing, I actually created this whole like a survey to, where are you on the drifter to commander continuum? Are you a drifter? Are you, a seeker? Are you a navigator? Are you a captain? Right? And so creating this whole thing, and did a survey and everything. You know what? I'll put a link in the description as well. But it was fun. It was fun. I loved it. There was no, when I got done, oh, thank goodness that's over with. None of this, yay, it's Friday, I finally have the weekend. That was my weekend. I was having fun doing something that's going to make a difference in your life and in my life, right? How cool is that? So, have the courage to live a life true to yourself, not what others expect. Don't work so hard. Find something that's play. Express your feelings. Stay in touch with your friends. And let yourself be happy. Because when you let yourself be happy, that is how you live your life to the third power. Until later, my friends. It's time to stop drifting through life and take command. That's why I've created my new course called The Quest, Find Your Personal Purpose. This course is your first step to taking control of your life by discovering your true purpose. Because if you don't know your purpose, you're just drifting. And that can lead to a life that feels empty or meaningless. And I don't want that for anyone, especially you. So join me on this incredible journey and let's discover your purpose together. Check out The Quest, Find Your Personal Purpose by visiting thirdpowerperformance.com/The Quest course or clicking the link in the episode description. It's time to live your life to the third power, so don't miss out.